We are generating digital assets faster than we comprehend them. Abstract data particles violently form into structures, only to morph into new shapes milliseconds later. When anyone can conjure a masterpiece without ever learning a software timeline, we have to ask what happens to the value of the art itself. For decades, creativity was constrained by the sheer physical effort required to execute an idea. Editing film meant physically splicing celluloid on heavy mechanical desks like this Steenbeck. The friction of the machinery was the filter. Today, that physical filter is completely gone. A single sentence typed into a prompt box instantly spawns complex visual effects, fully orchestrated music tracks, and rigged 3D environments. All of those technical barriers have completely evaporated. When the ability to merely execute a task is available to everyone, knowing how to make something is no longer a competitive advantage. This massive influx of instant generation has triggered an economic reality we call aesthetic inflation. Take a look at this generated portrait. The lighting is immaculate, the textures are hyper-real, and the aesthetic looks expensive. A few years ago, achieving this required a studio budget. Now, flawless execution is just table stakes. High production value used to signal authority and intense professionalism. Today, visual polish has become so widespread that it only proves you know how to operate a modern tool. The financial moats have completely dried up. A solo creator on a laptop can now match the visual output of massive production houses. This chart illustrates the resulting trap. As the overall volume of highly polished content explodes, audience attention completely flatlines. The technical barrier to entry disappeared, but it was replaced by a massive new barrier to attention. When anyone can make anything look perfect, a glossy finish does absolutely nothing to help your work stand out. The problem compounds when you look at how creators actually build these projects. The AI market is chaotic, flooded with hundreds of hyper-specialized vendors. A standard modern workflow often forces a creator to juggle entirely separate engines. One platform for video generation, another for audio dubbing, a third for motion tracking, and a fourth for style transfer. This is the fragmentation paradox. You start with a cohesive idea, but routing it through specialized, uncommunicative tools splinters your vision. The immediate result is creative noise. As assets bounce between conflicting algorithms, the unique artistic voice is lost. Relying on a patchwork of disconnected software forces the final product toward the mean. The art surrenders its identity and becomes entirely generic. The creators who actually thrive in this environment are abandoning the role of the manual technician entirely to become the AI creative director. They aren't executing the labor themselves. Instead, they curate, refine, and direct algorithmic outputs. This requires mastering a completely different skill set, the ability to translate raw intuition, pacing, and tone into precise strategic language. To execute that vision without losing it to creative noise, they are abandoning isolated tools and moving their workflows into unified creative ecosystems. This diagram shows how a unified environment changes the process. It collapses ideation, generation, and refinement into a single, continuous, overlapping loop. True creative power now comes from orchestrating a cohesive system, rather than fighting a disjointed pile of software. The machine handles the mechanical labor, but the human mind remains the essential anchor of the entire process. An algorithm can instantly scale execution and generate endless variations of a concept, but it has no understanding of emotional context. It doesn't know why a specific image matters. That leaves discernment as the ultimate premium skill. It is the singular human ability to look at infinite generated options and know exactly which one will resonate with another person. Technology has successfully removed the technical barriers to expression, but the burden of meaning, purpose, and empathy still belongs entirely to the artist.